This weekend, the annual 2025 World Athletic Relays were held in China. A 2-day competition where each team gets to run 2 races, a heat, and then a final or a repechage round depending on how they do, and an attempt to qualify for the World Championships later this year. Truthfully, it's a pretty low stakes competition, but that's kind of what makes it so fun, because come unprepared, and you get exposed. You send an uncohesive team because they're statistically faster than everyone else, prepare to get your pants pulled and ass shown bare, or you get beat on by teams 2 seconds slower than yours.
TT Terry storming down the home straight and success edging.
That's not a joke, and that's exactly what happened in the women's 4x100. So let's set the scene. Day 1, Heat 1. The winners were Belgium, who ran a solid race to beat Team Great Britain, who was missing their 2 Olympic finalists, opting to run with some youth.
Up to the line and Belgium come through.
Then in Heat 2, Jamaica was the talk of the town, packing their roster filled with the Clayton twins, Shelly Ann and Sharika Jackson, who collectively have an average personal best of 10.76 seconds. They've come to play and they've sent their complete A-team. But in this heat they would get massively upset by Spain, and I mean massive. Excluding the fact Sharika hardly made any ground on the final stretch, she would have still had to run an all-timer to close a gap like that.
Spain take it first, Jamaica!
A real subpar team performance. In Heat 3, Team USA, who fielded their B team, had it easy enough. I mean, the US relay pool is so deep, their B team by the numbers still have the 2nd fastest roster at this championship. So heading into the final, you can make a guess of the medals. Spain squashed Jamaica, who ran the 2nd fastest time out of everyone else in the heats. Jamaica statistically should be 2 seconds ahead of anyone not named the US or Canada. And even then, the US should be a pretty close number 2 anyway. But you could not predict this if you tried. Off the gun, USA's Briscoe in lane 6 and Jamaica's Morrison in 8 do work, creating visible space on every other team. Into the second exchange, it's subtle, but Spain's Bestu holds off a charge from Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, and even creates space between Team USA, which is mind-boggling. That's an athlete with a PB of 11.10 seconds. And then if by some miracle, on leg 3, Spain's Paula Sevilla, who has a PB of 11.35, smokes the fastest third leg of the meet. So heading into the straight, Spain with the lead, Team Great Britain is near shoulder to shoulder with Jamaica, and Team USA right behind.
It's Spain who get the baton in their hand first. Sharika Jackson for Jamaica and success Edouan for Great Britain on the outside. What a run from Edouan!
And it's not even Spain that wins it. Bloody Great Britain out of nowhere. And Sharika Jackson got straight up exposed. But to be honest, not only her, but USA's TT Terry as well. Jackson, of course, is a 10.65 runner. And Terry herself was an Olympic finalist last year and has a PB of 10.82. Yet both completely overshadowed by Great Britain's success Edouan, an up-and-coming 20-year-old sprinter with a personal best of 11.39 seconds from 2023. You cannot make up excuses for Terry and Jackson. It being early or under heavy load doesn't apply, because this was Edouan's first race of 2025. Sharika and Terry ran straight trash. I've always felt confident in Sharika's comeback to 2023 form. She showed glimpses last year as the Olympics approached, but man, this is inexcusably poor form. And in terms of Edouan, believe it or not, I'm never going to hype up an athlete into stardom after one performance. I need to see it repeated at least once. So let's see how she opens in an actual 100. Also, her final split was 10.03 seconds, which off the top of the dome is quick, but not insane. She'll certainly need to get this image framed on her wall though. And the men's 4x100 was just like the women's, in the sense that all the talk was about the Jamaicans, sending half their A-team, consisting of Watson, Fort, Blake, and Thompson. Yet, they fucked up getting the baton around twice. And it just makes it even funnier, because of the 26 male 4x100 teams at this event, only 2 teams had full rosters of sub 10-second sprinters, USA and Jamaica. But as I've alluded to, in Heat 2, while South Africa blazed to a sub 38 world lead, on change 2 Johan Blake would leave a little too early, and Fort couldn't quite reach him in time. So off to the repechage round the next day, where hint hint, Forte pulled his hamstring. And that's it, Jamaica might not be at the World Champs. And to make matters worse, Kashane Thompson flew 18 hours to never even run. Talking a little bit more about the heats, in Heat 3, Japan put together another class act of perfect underhand batting exchanges to beat defending Olympic champs Canada, who has their entire Olympic squad present, Brown, Blake, Rodney and DeGrasse.
Then Netherlands in third. Goodness me, Japan laying down the gauntlet here.
And then in Heat 4, America actually got the baton around the track. So then the final comes around. Canada's dream team messes up a baton exchange early and can't make up the ground. Kenny Benerick puts that 9.79 speed on display, crushing Japan on the backstretch, and final exchange, only South Africa and Team USA have gotten the baton around the track flawlessly, handing off to an almost poetic showdown of 2025's current 100-meter world leaders.
For South Africa, USA, Hickland going well. Can Sabini make up the time? I think he can. He's going to take it.
Yeah, Simbine's going to do this every time. Simbine is a monster in a flying 100. We learned that at Paris. Unfortunately though, the splits for South Africa were broken. Never trust relay splits anyway. But this makes me wonder, why doesn't he run 200s? He has a PB of 1995 from 2017, pre the era of super spikes. Otherwise he just hasn't really touched it. Get this man at Grand Slam and see what he can do. And South Africa's relay team as a whole is an extremely exciting young team. While ours are leading the team off as 19, galloping his way to multiple sub 10 times. Nakona on the third leg is 20 with a 10.03 PB, and the second leg was actually a different runner from Paris. They used Dembele, who has a PB of 10.22, and god damn did he run a fantastic leg against a flying Kenny. I don't even think he really let up ground on him. As Canada's golden roster ages out, South Africa are probably going to be the consistent replacement, a roster filled with borderline championship sprinters individually who actually practice together, and will get that baton around the track under championship pressure. It is pretty obvious that Jamaica and Team USA are by far, every year, are going to field the fastest teams. But they never get the dang memo. Pick a squad of guys who know how to run fast at the right time of year and get them to practice year round. If I had my picks, Coleman, Kenny, Courtney and Lyles. And you know what, if you want to be really ballsy, call it Project X and make it only younger guys. The old heads have had too many chances. We also saw the introduction of a new relay, the mixed 4x100. 2 women leading followed by 2 men. And for this meet specifically, it was pretty fun and cool to watch. I wouldn't be mad seeing it here again as a bit of a gimmicky race that fills time and gives some world level experience to developing runners. But let's not joke around. This should not be introduced to a World Champs or Olympics. The fields were stretched very thin. A lot of 10.3 male runners showing up because countries don't want to overwork athletes in too many events. And I don't want to be that guy since I'm not a sprinter. But 10.3 shouldn't be at a world anything. Sprinters already get enough medal opportunities. I'd actually be annoyed to see a sprinter get a quintuple gold one day, winning the 100, 200, 4x100, mixed 4x100, and 4x400 gold. As per usual in the final, Team USA was statistically the strongest, although at first exchange, South Africa was barely ahead of Team USA in a 400 meter split of 46.02 seconds. Yeah, if you can't tell already, never trust relay splits. Anyway, back to business. Spain would actually be leading into the final exchange, but USA's Bailey Lear would surge ahead of Spain's Bianca Hervas. After all, Lear is by far the faster runner.
And now Hervas rallies her challenge, and the USA are under pressure, and it's Spain again! Spain reigning Guangzhou once more!
Man, that was cold. The nuts on Hervas to calmly let a runner with a PB, an entire second faster than yours to take the lead, to then stab them in the back on the final stretch. Hervas could defuse a bomb with nerves of steel like that. I'll say it again if you're not getting the point. Team USA by the numbers should be out here mopping up medals. That's what they did last year. Yet here we are, Spain putting the US into a chokehold 2 out of 2 races. And as if like a pattern, South Africa won the 4x100, they also won the men's 4x400, off the back of an incredible 43-second leg by Nene. But again, relay splits are dodgy, and Team USA nowhere to be found. But to their credit, they did win one medal, the mixed 4x400, because Femke Bol wasn't there to either overtake them or trip over her own feet.
Are just fading, but they'll take it home in second, and a brilliant run by Kenya to third.
And that was my short take on the World Relays. For those of you who've made it this far, I'm off to Australia to see some family and a wee holiday. So the next 2 videos will be kinda crabby, even more than this one. Just me talking over some footage and giving my opinions. Not like I don't do that anyway. Also, there's a rumor going around. Grand Slam track, May 31st to June 2nd, streamed live here on the Jumpman channel. We're getting it back, boys.